Have you ever been in a conversation with someone you really like, only to find yourself running out of things to say? Well, today, I'm putting myself to the test by asking her three powerful questions that are guaranteed to spark her interest and leave her wanting more. Trust me, these questions are game changers when it comes to building deeper connections. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to turn any conversation into an unforgettable one. Picture this. You're sitting across from someone you're genuinely interested in. The conversation is going well, and then it stalls. That awkward silence creeps in, and suddenly, you're scrambling for something to say. Sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. Many people struggle with keeping the momentum going in a conversation, especially when they want to leave a lasting impression. But here's the good news. You don't need to be a master of small talk or memorize a list of clever lines to keep her engaged. All it takes are the right questions, questions that show genuine curiosity, spark emotion, and invite meaningful dialogue. And today, I'm going to share three of them with you. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about playing mind games or trying to impress her with fancy words. It's about creating a space where both of you can connect on a deeper level. The key is to ask questions that tap into her stories, her dreams, and the experiences that shaped who she is. When you ask the right questions, something magical happens. The conversation becomes more natural. She feels heard and understood, and you both walk away feeling like you've truly connected. So, what are these questions? Let's get into it. 1. The first question: values and wisdom. Let's start with the first question. One that's deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. What's the best advice you've ever received? At first glance, it might seem like just another casual question. But let me tell you, this one opens the door to so much more than surface-level conversation. It's an invitation for her to reflect on the moments and people that have influenced her the most. This question doesn't just scratch the surface. It digs deep into her story, her values, and her perspective on life. And here's why it's so impactful. When you ask this question, you're doing more than making small talk. You're showing genuine interest in what has shaped her as a person. Think about it. The advice someone treasures often reflects their experiences, struggles, and victories. By asking her to share that wisdom, you're signaling that her perspective matters to you, that you value the lessons she's learned and the person she's become. Now, imagine this. She pauses for a moment, her eyes light up, and she starts sharing a piece of advice her parents gave her when she was younger. Maybe it was something simple, like, never give up on your dreams, or something profound, like, your worth isn't tied to other people's opinions. As she shares, you're not just hearing her words, you're getting a glimpse into her upbringing, her mindset, and what drives her every day. Or perhaps she tells you about a hard lesson she had to learn on her own, maybe through a challenging breakup, a failed business attempt, or a leap of faith that didn't go as planned. Whatever it is, this question creates space for her to open up and be vulnerable. And vulnerability? That's where real connections happen. This question also gives you a golden opportunity to follow up. Don't just nod and move on. Dive deeper. Ask her, how has that advice shaped the way you approach life? Or was there a moment when that advice really clicked for you? These follow-up questions show her that you're not just passively listening, you're actively interested in her story. And let's not forget, her answer might also inspire you. She could share a perspective you hadn't thought about before or remind you of advice you've received but maybe forgotten. It becomes a two-way street, where both of you walk away from the conversation feeling a little more enlightened and connected. Here's the best part. Starting with this question sets the tone for the entire conversation. It signals that you're not here to talk about the weather or exchange surface-level pleasantries. You're here to create a meaningful dialogue. When she sees that you're someone who genuinely values deeper conversations, she'll naturally feel more comfortable opening up about other aspects of her life. So, why is this question such a game changer? It's not just about the words, it's about what it represents. It shows curiosity, empathy, and a willingness to learn from her experiences. And trust me, that's rare. If you've ever felt stuck or unsure about how to keep a conversation flowing, this question is your secret weapon. It's the perfect way to transition from small talk to something much more personal and engaging. And here's a tip to take it to the next level. Be ready to share your own answer to this question. Conversations are a two-way exchange, and sharing your own experience can make her feel even more comfortable and connected. For example, you might say something like, "One piece of advice that really changed my perspective was," and then share your story. This back and forth creates a rhythm that keeps the conversation lively and engaging. 2. The second question, courage and risk. Now, let me introduce you to my personal favorite. What's the biggest risk you've ever taken? Why do I love this question so much? Because it's more than just a conversation starter. It's an invitation to dive into the moments that define who she is. It's a question that says, "Tell me a story about when you were brave, when you trusted yourself, when you took a leap of faith." And trust me, people love sharing those kinds of stories. When you ask this question, you're not just asking for a generic answer. You're inviting her to relive a moment that likely shaped her, challenged her, or even changed her life. Think about it. When we take risks, it's because we believe in something or someone, even if the outcome is uncertain. That belief, that courage, speaks volumes about a person's character. Now, picture this. She starts talking about a time she decided to backpack across Europe on her own, even though her friends and family thought she was crazy. She shares how she navigated unfamiliar cities, met incredible people, and discovered a strength in herself she didn't know she had. Or maybe she tells you about the day she walked into her boss's office and quit her job to chase a dream she'd been holding onto for years. The nervous excitement, the doubts, the eventual triumph. These are the kinds of stories that pull you in and make you want to know more about her. Here's why this question is so effective. It taps into her sense of courage and determination. It invites her to reflect on a moment when she chose to step outside her comfort zone and take a chance. And when someone shares a story like that, it's hard not to feel inspired. But it's not just about listening to her story, it's also about what it means for your connection. When she opens up about her experiences, she's giving you a glimpse into what she values, her dreams, her resilience, her willingness to face the unknown. And here's the kicker. When someone feels understood and appreciated for who they truly are, trust starts to build. This question also opens the door for you to find common ground. Maybe her story reminds you of a time you took a leap of faith, like moving to a new city, starting a business, or asking for something you really wanted. Sharing your own experience isn't just about keeping the conversation going. It's about creating a two-way exchange of vulnerability and trust. For example, you could say something like, "Wow, that's incredible. It reminds me of the time I," and then share your own story of risk-taking. This back and forth builds momentum in the conversation, making it feel natural and engaging. And who knows, you might even discover that you share similar values or life goals. Another reason this question is so impactful is that it brings out emotion. Risk-taking isn't just about the action itself, it's about the fear, the excitement, the uncertainty, and the eventual reward or lesson learned. When she talks about the biggest risk she's ever taken, she's likely to light up with passion or reflect deeply on the experience. That emotional connection? It's magnetic. And let's not forget how versatile this question is. Whether you're on a first date, chatting with someone you've known for a while, or even having a conversation with a friend, this question works in almost any scenario. Why? Because it's personal, thought-provoking, and memorable. So, what's the magic behind? What's the biggest risk you've ever taken? It's that it shifts the focus from the surface to the soul. It's not just about what she's done. It's about what those actions say about her. It's about creating a moment of genuine connection where you both feel seen and heard. Before I move on, here's a quick tip. When she shares her story, make sure you're actively listening. Don't just nod and say, "That's cool." Ask follow-up questions like, "What gave you the courage to do that?" Or, "How did that experience change you?" These questions show that you're not just hearing her, you're truly interested in understanding her. To sum it up, this question isn't just a game changer, it's a trust builder, a connection deepener, and an inspiration generator. So, the next time you're looking to spark a meaningful conversation, remember this one. You might be surprised at how powerful the answers can be. 3. The third question, dreams and aspirations. And now, let's dive into the grand finale. The third and perhaps most intriguing question. What's something that's on your bucket list that you're nervous about trying? Why is this question so powerful? Because it's not just about what she wants to do. It's about what she dreams of but hasn't yet dared to chase. It's about her aspirations, her fears, and the uncharted territories she hopes to explore someday. Asking this question is like opening a window into her future, where possibilities are endless and her most vulnerable ambitions come to light. Let me set the stage for you. When you ask this, you're essentially saying, tell me about the things that set your soul on fire, the things that scare you just enough to remind you they're worth it. And trust me, when someone shares something like that, it's magnetic. Imagine her response. Maybe she'll tell you about her dream of skydiving, even though she's terrified of heights. Or perhaps she's always wanted to write a novel, but she's unsure if she has the talent or discipline to pull it off. Maybe she wants to quit her 9-to-5 job and start her own business, but the fear of failure has been holding her back. Whatever her answer, it's going to reveal so much about who she is, what she values, and what she's striving for. This question works wonders because it allows her to dream out loud. It's a safe space for her to share something that excites her, even if it's a little scary. And here's the thing. When someone talks about their bucket list, they're talking about what makes life meaningful to them. They're sharing the experiences they hope to have, the goals they want to achieve, and the person they want to become. As she speaks, you'll notice something incredible. Her eyes might light up with excitement, or her voice might take on a softer, more reflective tone. You'll see her passion, her vulnerability, and her courage all at once. And this is your opportunity to connect with her on a deeper level. Here's the beauty of this question. It doesn't just give you insight into her dreams, it also gives you a chance to encourage her. If she says she's always wanted to travel solo but feels nervous about doing it, you can say something like, "That's amazing. I think you'd have an incredible time. What's the first place you'd want to visit?" By showing genuine interest and cheering her on, you're building trust and making her feel valued. And don't forget, this question isn't just about her. It's also an opportunity for you to share your own bucket list dreams. Maybe you've always wanted to hike to Everest Base Camp, learn a new language, or start a passion project you've been putting off. When you open up about your aspirations, it creates a two-way street of vulnerability and connection. For example, you might say, "That's such a cool goal. For me, I've always wanted to," and then share something from your own bucket list. This back-and-forth dynamic keeps the conversation engaging and helps you both feel more connected. Let's take a moment to appreciate how versatile this question is. It's perfect for a first date, but it's just as impactful if you've known someone for years. Why? Because people's dreams evolve over time. And this question keeps the conversation fresh and exciting no matter where you are in your relationship. Now, here's a pro tip. Pay close attention to the emotions behind her answer. Is she nervous but excited? Does she seem hesitant or unsure? Use her cues to deepen the conversation. If she says she's always wanted to take up public speaking but feels too shy, you could ask, "What's holding you back?" Or, "Have you ever thought about taking a small step toward it, like joining a local class?" Questions like these show that you're not just listening, you're actively invested in her journey. One of the most powerful aspects of this question is how it creates a sense of possibility. It's not just about what she wants to do. It's about the hope and excitement that come with imagining those dreams becoming reality. And when you share that excitement with her, it creates a bond that's hard to ignore. So, why does this question work so well? Because it taps into something universal, the desire to grow, explore, and make the most of life. It's a reminder that we're all chasing something, and it's a chance to connect over the dreams that make us who we are. To sum it up, what's something that's on your bucket list that you're nervous about trying? Is more than just a conversation starter. It's an adventure waiting to happen. It's a question that opens the door to passion, vulnerability, and connection. And here's the best part. When you ask this question, you're not just making her think about her dreams. You're showing her that you're someone who cares enough to ask. That's the kind of connection that leaves a lasting impression. I remember asking the second question, "What's the biggest risk you've ever taken?" on a date. Her response completely transformed the conversation. She told me about quitting her corporate job to start her own business. Hearing her story was inspiring. It showed me her resilience and courage, and it made our connection feel so much more real. That's the beauty of these questions. They're not just conversation starters, they're conversation deepeners. They create moments where you can both open up, share, and truly connect. So, let's recap. The three questions that can captivate and engage her are: what's the best advice you've ever received? What's the biggest risk you've ever taken? What's something that's on your bucket list that you're nervous about trying? These aren't just random questions. They're invitations to explore her world, learn more about her, and build a stronger connection. The next time you're in a conversation and feel it stalling, try one of these questions. You might be surprised by how quickly the dynamic shifts. And now, it's your turn. Which of these questions do you think is the most powerful? Or, if you have a go-to question that always sparks a great conversation, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on creating meaningful connections, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.